So the document your faith prompt that was supposed to release Monday, we're going to do it today. It was yesterday. We're going to do it today. And then next week's too, maybe if we get to it. So this prompt is actually going to be called, it's letter art. Does anybody know what I mean by letter art? Anybody? Okay, it's really self-explanatory. It's pretty easy to figure out. However, what we're going to do is we're going to take the letter, the word joy, because it only has 3 letters in it, right? And we're going to practice something called letter art. Now, what this means is we're going to take each letter, we're just going to do the basic of the letter, and then we're going to add to it artistically. Letter art is just taking the basis of a letter and just adding to it. Okay, just adding. It's more kind of like a doodle thing. The reason I love this technique so much is because sometimes it ends up pretty, sometimes it ends up looking goofy and whatever, you have to start over. But the reason I love this so much is because as you're doodling, of course, as in all the time we do this art, you are thinking through the precepts of whatever it is you're talking about. And I want everybody to do it with me. Everybody do it with me. Get a piece of paper, unless you're driving. If you're driving, don't do it. Get a piece of paper. I do mine on a half-size sheet of cardstock because I put them in my planner. This is my actual planner, and I put all of my document your faith projects in this planner. Okay, so that's why it's this size. It can be any size, but if you're not following along with us with document your faith yet, if you're new, then that's totally fine. Grab a piece of paper, grab a sticky note. I don't care what you grab. Put it on the back of your workbook, whatever you want to do. Grab one of the papers from the kit, put it on the back, whatever. And we're going to practice this together. Okay. So we're going to do joy. Now, if you need some inspiration on how to do this, one thing you can do is you can look it up on Pinterest. You can look up just letter art or like word art, like what is it called? Hand lettering, anything like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you an example. All right, so we're going to start with the word joy because we're talking about these lessons that we've learned. And the way I will typically start this is very lightly, so lightly you will probably not be able to see this. Very lightly, I'm just going to start with the word with the letters. So I'm going to make an O in the middle to make it kind of in the middle. I'm going to make a Y at the end, at the bottom. And I'm going to put the J at the top. Now you can do this sideways if you want. You can do it any way you want. Okay, so I feel confident that I did this so soft, so light, you may not see it. That's because I'm going to end up erasing these lines. Okay, but I wanted to kind of get the spacing down. So everybody go ahead and make your joy. Do it. Do it to it. I'll wait. I'm not going to wait long though. It's just 3 letters. Okay, now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to work off of this. For example, my joy, my why, I'm actually going to make it sort of a little bit of a block. So I'm going to actually go and I'm going to take on either side of it. I'm using this as kind of a template, but on either side of it, I'm going to outline and make it a little bit of a block with a little bit of a design. I don't know if you can tell this, but I'm just sort of going on either side of the letter. Okay. So you guys see that? So I just kind of started there. So I'll get rid of this middle because I'm going to decorate the middle too. That's part of it. My J, I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to make my J, well, I'm going to make a little curly Q here. And I'm going to make it a little bit, I'm just going to add a little bit of depth to it, or a little bit of, what do you call this? Like, what do you call that? Width? What is that? Chunkiness? A little bit of chunkiness here. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to do very similar. And this is just all freehand. Do not stress about this. I'm going to keep this straight And I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do with my top of my J is I'm going to do some little curly cues coming off of it very randomly. Okay, and off of the back end. Let's go this way. It'd actually be better if I had more room at the top, but I don't. So here we are. Okay, so you can kind of see where I'm starting to get a little bit fancy with my J. My O, the way I'm going to get fancy with my O is I'm going to add some extra lines in the middle. So all I'm going to do from here is I'm going to build on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the Y, I'm going to make some extra little thicken it up a little bit in different places. There is absolutely no rules to this at all. Okay, let's just thicken this whole little bit. And here. Once I feel like I kind of have the outline pretty well, then we're going to start filling in the center. Okay. All right. And I am just totally giving you ideas. You know, you can do whatever you want to do with it. All right. So there's my J, my O, and my Y, basically. Fullness. Yes, Debbie, fullness. Thank you. All right. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to take like this, I don't like this right here. So we're going to keep this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another line here to attach it. Just make some other curly cues. And you'll see in just a minute what, how I'm going to differentiate. So you'll actually know that it's a J. All right. Okay. So next up is we're going to take all of these little fullness things and we're going to add designs in them. Okay. And here's what I mean by that. For example, this is so simple. It can be little circles. It can be little like half circles. Like let me give you an example. Like let's say here I want to add circles. I'm just going to add little circles right here. Okay. On this side, I might add half circles. Right here, I might just add stripes. And you can add this on the inside too, but I'm just doing it on the outside. On here, I'm going to add maybe diagonals. On this one, what are we going to add? We'll add some, they're kind of like little X's, I guess. Okay. Let's do some more half circles down here. Everybody with me? Are we doodling? Now, same thing goes for this one. I always do this in pencil. That way I can come back later and fix it if I don't. So can everybody kind of see what I'm doing? Are we working? Whoops, I'm getting out of range. There we go. There's my O and my Y. Okay, now my J's kind of crazy up here. Oh, let's see. My J is super cray cray. So let's see what I'm going to do for my J. And the whole time I'm doing this, I'm reminding myself that I count it all joy as I go through suffering. I remind myself that the fruit of the Spirit is not given. I mean, I can't do it alone, because if it was up to me, I'm going to base everything on my feelings, right? So I constantly am praying that the Lord will help me to not just manifest this joy, but to realize what a blessing it is when I do go through difficult times that I can still count it as joy, right? Because joy is not based on how I feel. All right, how we feeling? It kind of looks like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Dr. Seuss, right? Okay. So then I'm going to add some, I'm going to go add color in a minute, but I'm going to add some extra little blobbies. I saw a photo one time. This is based off of a picture, an artwork. And I saw a photo, and this is where getting like inspiration is great. Okay. I saw a photo and they had little dangly things, which I think is such a cool idea. And the dangly things had lots of little squiggles. So for example, like this would be like a little line, and I would just have some squiggles. Okay. So I might have a dangly thing that comes down from here, and it would just end in a heart, for example. I might have a heart up here in the middle, and then another dangly thing, and maybe it ends in an arrow, just a little, arrow thingy, right? I might have just an extra little, I mean, there's no rules to it. Like think of it kind of like a chandelier. See that? I don't know. Can you guys still see me? It might be that it ends in a flower, if you know how to draw a flower. So you might want to do a line that ends in a flower, like maybe you want to dangle from here, go past here, and end in, I don't know, how do you draw a flower? Is that a flower? Does that look like a flower? Not really. I'm thinking like an upside down tulip. You know what I mean? I don't think that really looks like a flower, but it's okay because it's all just sort of whatever. How about like a rose that we learned how to draw last week? Remember the roses? We could have a dangle that has a rose. Let's dangle something here. And let's do just one of our circle roses. There's no rules here, right? We'll dangle a rose from the Y. Can you kind of see that? Let's do some more hearts. I want some more hearts. You can even dangle on the inside. So what I can do is I can go down, put a little heart here, put some dots. Dots are easy. Do some squiggles. We need something in our O, don't we? Let's do just a doodle line. Let's do another doodle line here. The great thing about these is they don't have to be symmetrical. Let's add some dots on this one. Okay. See, I mean, really and truly, there is you can do as much or as little of this as you want. You can end with a dot. Let's do a diamond. Let's do a diamond here in the middle. I'm taking these dots here. I'm going to dangle from here. Let's dangle like this shape, whatever that shape is. We need something over here, don't we? Like a star, maybe. And we can put a flower in the middle of our star. See? So what we're doing here, guys, is we are literally just doodling. Remember when you were in school and you just doodled, you were not paying attention to the teacher at all. All you were doing was just doodling on your folder. Come on, y'all remember, right? Does anybody north south on that? Anybody remember that? Thank you. I appreciate the honesty for those of you who at least are admitting it in your heads. So and you just doodle and you just doodle. And this is what we're doing. And as we're doodling, because it's relatively mindless, normally I don't narrate my doodles, I got to be honest. But as we do this, we're remembering the truth of the gospel. Okay. So we're counting it all joy. And we might even put, the verse on here. So the verse in James 1, 2 through 4, actually, the scripture is count it all joy, my brethren, or consider it joy, as AJ said in the podcast. When you meet trials of various kinds, letting people in, you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. So James 1, 2 through 4. So I may actually just put that like on as part of my design, right? I could actually put it inside one of my letters. All right, so joy. So there we go with my reference. Now, what's next? So next, we're just going to color it in. This is the fun part. All right, so you can use whatever you want. You can use your colored pens. You can use colored pencils. You can use markers. You can use whatever you want. I'm going to use a pencil. And I'm just going to do a little bit of this because you don't need to watch me do the whole thing, but you'll get the idea. So basically, I don't really care what color I start with. I'm just going to start with a color. And the way I'm going to end up doing it is I'm going to color just all over the place. We're going to just have color coming out the wazoo. Okay. And as I do this, I'm going to show you just a couple of examples, and then we'll do the rest. I will do the rest off screen. Okay. So I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to do a couple of colors. And then, just spoiler alert, once I finish the colors, then what I will do is, can you still see me? I can't see myself. There we go. Oh, this kind of looks like a candy cane, doesn't it? I better add a different color so it doesn't look so candy cane-ish. And then what I'll do after this part is I will outline the whole thing, all these little doodly things in black to make them pop. So to make this look less candy caney, I'm going to add a completely different color here, like maybe a purple. Does purple and red go together? I don't know. I don't care. Can you put whatever colors you want on yours? Yes. Do you have to color it at all? Can you just make it black and white? Absolutely. Do you have to do anything that I'm doing? No. And there, I've started. I can just keep on going from here. Now, if I was really particular about it, then I would be planning out my colors. But remember, this is not to sell. This is not going to go on Instagram, although you could put it on Instagram, I guess, if you wanted to do yours. This is not for you. You guys are here. What I'm doing here, technically it kind of is for you because we're doing it together, but this is not for you. This is for me, and this is my worship. This is my creative worship. And so it makes no difference how it looks. Yes? Agreed? Making my little tulipy kind of thing blue, which I don't think there are such a thing as blue tulips, are there? So kind of negated the idea that it's actually a tulip. There we go. Okay, so you guys are starting to get the idea, right? Okay. Are we good? See, if I were here by myself, I'd be up real close. I'd be like this. This takes a little bit of time, but that's okay, because again, the purpose is worship. And now, you know what would be great for this particular exercise? Worship music. putting worship music on and just praising the Lord as you're doing this. I'm going to add some extra little Okay, so just to give you an idea, so this is kind of like in general what we've got going on here, right? Yes, it is exceedingly random, and that's good. This is the way my brain works. I love when there's no rules. It makes me super happy. And there's never any rules. And where's my pink? Where are all my pinks? Missing some colors. I think my daughter may have some of my colors. I'm gonna blame her. You know what? If this is stressful, guess what? This is not the exercise for you. The whole goal of this is not to stress you out. It is to just create, it's just a creative outlet. Okay. Okay. So just to give you an idea of what I'm going to do next, just so you guys know, I'm going to take my handy dandy pen. This is my favorite pen in the whole wide world. It's a Zig Writer. Okay. And it is, I'm going to take the small, it's got a big end. I'm going to take the small end. Okay. You can use any pen. You don't even have to outline if you don't want to. But just to give you an idea, I'm going to go ahead and outline this. All right. So you guys get the idea, right? All right, I'm going to go through this now. I'm going to speed it up and we are going to color in all of our fun doodles. Here we go. So I'm switching back and forth between the pencils and the pen sometimes because some of my when I drew them so tiny that it's really hard to get in there with a pencil, even with a really sharp pencil. So some of them I'm doing with just colored pens. Honestly, you could do them all with colored pens if you wanted, but the bigger ones are easy to do with pencil and the smaller ones are with pens. Okay, so I have this pretty much colored and ready to go. I'm just trying to decide now if I want to add more. So, because, I've already gone this far, right? It's actually good like this. But I'm wondering if this needs something on the sides. I'm thinking yes. Here we go. Okay, so look at all these colors. This makes me super happy that I was able to use all these colors. See? Yay! And even more. I'll put them over here for now. And this is what I came up with. So, joy, Joy. You can hardly recognize my joy anymore, but there it is, and it gives me so much joy. This page just makes me so happy. And James 1:2, count it all joy. Count it all joy when you suffer, right? When you meet trials. Because you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And when the steadfastness has its full effect, will be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Yay! So, regardless of how I feel, regardless of whether I'm happy, I can have joy. And so can you. Now let's see what you're creating.